everyone, Sarah with the York County Library here, and welcome to another episode of Stay Creative York County. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how I make this soap saver. What this is a drawstring bag that you can put a bar of soap in and use instead of a loofah or a washcloth. So what you're going to need to be able to create this is some cotton yarn. I'm using this color. I am also going to be using a J-hook. Oh, my dog has just left. A J-hook. I have this little polymer clay handle that I made on it. It's a metal hook, so you can do that. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need a stitch marker or some way to mark the first stitch of every round. I'm going to be doing that with a safety pin. There are specific stitch markers that you can get at craft stores, and you can use those as well. And also I'm going to use this little yarn needle to be able to do our drawstring here. So last week I did a reusable cotton round, and that's where we worked in the round. This is going to be a little different. We're going to create a chain and then do some stitches on either side of the chain. And then we're going to continue to create double crochet all the way up. And then we're going to do a chain to create the string or drawstring for the drawstring bag. So you are going to need to know how to do a double crochet, a single crochet, and a slip stitch, as well as how to chain. So a double crochet is going to be kind of similar to last week in the half double crochet, except with half double crochet, when you have 3 loops on your hook, you will yarn over and pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through 2, and it creates a stacked single crochet on top of a single crochet. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I am going to do a slip knot and put it onto my crochet hook. This is an adjustable knot. I don't want to have it too tight, and I don't want it too loose. I want it to fit snugly against the hook, like that, and I want it to be able to move. So what we're going to do, we have your bar of soap, whatever you're going to be using, and I want to measure a length that is a little longer or a little wider than the width. We're going to be creating the base first and then moving upwards. So you just want to make sure that it will be wide enough to fit your soap. And I would say wide enough to fit your soap, and then maybe halfway down the sides is what you want to do. So when you do your chains, you can put the chain against it and see. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing some chains. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, and 10. So there I have 10 chains. Put that on my soap. Bring it down. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the second chain from the hook, and I am going to start doing single crochet across. So it's not what's on the hook that's a chain, it's what's next to it. So 1 and then 2. So we'll go into that chain. We're going to draw up a loop. Now we have 2 on the hook. We're going to draw and go through those 2, and that is a single crochet. So single crochet is to go through, draw up a loop, yarn over and draw up a loop, so you have 2, then yarn over and pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2. And then just continue that down until you get to the last one. Okay, so now we have gotten to the end of our row of single crochet. So we're here at the end, and we're going to go in and make our last single crochet. So now we have our chain, which is here, and we have a row of single crochet on top. So this is the base of the soap saver. What we're going to do now is we are going to chain 1 and then go on the other side of our initial chain and single crochet into the other side. So we're going to get kind of an oval shape that we are going to start crocheting in around and around to build up our soap saver. So we're going to chain 1 and then turn this over, and we're going to single crochet across. The first is easy to find because it's next to the knot from the beginning. So we go under those little loops on the end there. You can see right here. We'll go through. Oop. That little tail is going to get in the way. That's okay. We're going to yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through 2. And then you just need to find across where those stitches are. You can see where that little loop right there is, and they kind of overlap each other. That's going to be the other side of that chain that we made. So go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then you just continue that down. And you can also take into consideration how many you had across and be able to count and keep up that way. So we have those on top and go through those. So now that we have reached the end, I can look back and see that this right here is my first crochet, or my first single crochet. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go into that first crochet. I'm going to yarn over and pull through, and instead of doing a single crochet, I'm going to pull up the loop I just pulled through and pull it through the one on the hook, and now we have created a slip stitch. So now, just to show you real quick, I'm going to take the hook out. So now we have created this oval base for our soap. You can see on the outside we have the single crochet. It goes around and comes on the other side. So now what we're going to be doing is that this is our base. We're going to start doing double crochet around, and that's going to build it up. So that will actually be the bag that will hold the soap. So to start, what you might want to do after we do this first stitch too is use a stitch marker. I'll show you that in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is now for our first complete row around with double crochet, we're going to yarn over and chain 1, and we're going to go into that first single crochet that we just did the slip knot into. To do double crochet, you're going to yarn over, then you are going to insert your crochet hook into the stitch, and you're going to yarn over and pull through. Now we have 3 loops on the hook. Now last week I did half double crochet, so we yarned over and went through all 3, but with double crochet it's almost like 2 single crochets. So we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 of the loops. Now we have 2, we're going to yarn over and then pull through 2. So double crochet in the next one, yarn over, we're going to go through the stitch, yarn over and pull through. We have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And then you're going to repeat that all the way around. Now the number around is going to be different. If you have a wider piece of soap and you did more chains on the base chain, you're going to have more around. What you will do is open your stitch marker or safety pin. This is the top of my first half double crochet. So I'm just going to put my safety pin through like that and then close it. So now I have something there. So now I'm just going to continue around and do double crochet. Okay, so this is the stitch marker here. We've come around to it. I've started here, gone around, and I've come back to the stitch marker. Now double crochet is basically 2 single crochets on top of each other, and so this is the top of the double crochet. You can see underneath this right here, you might confuse that as the next stitch, but it's actually the double crochet, the beginning of it. So what we're going to do now is slip stitch into the top of our first. So we're going to take out our stitch marker, put it down here, and go into where we took it out of. We're going to do a slip stitch, so we're going to go through, yarn over and pull through, so we have 2 loops. Then we're going to take the loop that we just pulled through the one that was on the hook originally, and there we have our first row of double crochet. So now you can see it's starting to form. Here is the base that we created, and this is the double crochet. So we're just going to continue until this is tall enough to be able to go over this for the drawstring part. So this may vary for you. I'll show you how to get started on the next row, and then you just continue that until you reach the height. So now that we are here to continue with our next row, we are going to go ahead and chain 1, and then we're going to do a double crochet into the slip stitch that we did here. So we're going to yarn over and go through, yarn over and pull through. So we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, whoop, yarn over, pull through 2. So now this is our first double crochet in this row. We're going to take our stitch marker and put it through. So now we have our stitch marker there at the top, and we know that one is the first one. So when we go around and come back, we're going to slip stitch into the top of that. So now that you have that started, you just continue by doing double crochet in each of the double crochet around, and it will start to build up another layer. Okay, so I have continued until I've gotten to the height that I want, and so I'm just going to test that. Another good way to use safety pins is if you have to put a project down for a little while and you want to keep this loop from slipping out, you can always put your safety pin or stitch marker in there and it'll keep it secure. So to test, you just, as you're going along, put your bar of soap inside. And so there's my bar of soap. It's actually a little big, but that's okay because at the top there's at least 1 row above it And we are going to create a drawstring bag with a crocheted chain rope. So I'm going to finish this off. And how I'm going to finish it off is I'm going to take some scissors. I'm going to clip the yarn. I'm going to take out my marker that was holding the loop in place. And then I'm going to take my hook and just pull that string through. And then we're going to tighten that. And just to make sure it doesn't unravel, I'm just going to do a double knot and tighten that close to the piece. So there it is tied off. And I'm going to also do a little knot down here on the bottom. And then pull that tight against the soap saver. So now we're going to take these ends and just weave them into the top here and cut off any excess. And then this I'm going to weave into the seam at the bottom. So to do that, we're going to take this yarn needle. I'm going to put the yarn through. All right, put the yarn through like that. You can see, there we go. And then we're just going to take this and bring it, I'm going to put it through the tops here on this. And you could do it however you want. I'm just going to put it through the front part here and then pull through. And there we go. And then just, flatten it out. Take the excess and cut it. And there you go. And then just repeat that for the bottom. And then I'm just going to run it through the bottom here where we had that first chain. What's nice about this needle is it's pretty blunt. It's not like a sharp needle, so you can kind of use your fingers closer to it. All right, and then pull through, and that yarn might need a little bit of help coming through. There we go. There we go. And snip off the excess. There we go. And then there is the soap saver, main part. So now we're going to make a drawstring. You could use a different kind of string, a different color of string, or yarn I should say. You could also use ribbon. You just want to be mindful of the fact this is something that's going to be in the shower. So I'm going to be doing just a simple chain as a rope. So how we're going to do that is we put our yarn onto our hook, and we're just going to create a chain. And you can gauge this however you would like, depending on the width of your soap saver. You might have a longer or a shorter string. I think I'm going to try to go for either 3 or 4 times the width, so that I have enough on the ends to tie with. Alright, so I'm just going to take the hook out, and I'm going to cut off some excess here. This will actually be added into the length too, so keep that in mind. I tightened that. I pulled the string through that last loop like we did when we were finishing our piece. And I'm going to do another knot in the end of that. So here we go. And we're just going to tie a knot at the other end. So there's our string. Don't need our yarn anymore, so we're good with that. We are going to take our embroidery or our yarn needle, put this end through. Okay, so we have this one here, and I'm just going to go into this row here. I'm going to start at the edge here, and I'm going to go under one double crochet, over the next, and under the next, and over and under and over and under, just across, weaving in and out of those double crochet that are in that row. So then as I'm working, I can pull those through. So going like that. Whoop. Then we just turn here. So we're gonna go over that and under that and continue on the other side. Over, under, over, under, over. Here we go. Alright, so now right here the other one's coming out. So then we go ahead and pull this through. Here we go. So it looks like my woven in has come out. That's okay. I'll just leave it in later. But here we have our soap saver. You can then pull the strings, and it is a drawstring bag. And so we can open this up, put the soap inside, and then close it. And there is our soap saver. Whoop. So it fits really well. And there's enough room on the top. Fits on the sides, and then this could be used to hang it up. You could make it or tie it off as a loop to hang it, but there we are. Or you could just use this as a drawstring bag for a gift. So there we are, our soap saver. So there we have our little soap saver. What I like about this project is that you can change it for any size object that you need to place inside of the drawstring bag. And also, at the end of the day, this is just a drawstring bag. So you could use this for gift giving or for storage, and you can personalize it by using different yarns. You could get something that changes as you crochet, or you could change up the colors by switching out yarns that you use. You could also, if you're not using this for a soap saver, then you could use other types of yarn. The cotton is just preferable because it's easier to clean. So if you are using this as a soap saver, you just want to make sure that after you use it, give it a little lather of its own, rinse it out, and then place it somewhere to dry. And then it will just be able to be used over and over until you run out of soap. And because it's cotton, you can place it in the wash, and I would recommend a little laundry bag for that. Okay friends, I hope that you found this video useful, and I hope you found this as a useful alternative to a loofah. Like last week we had a reusable cotton round, and that's a great way to reduce what you use. So I hope you found it useful in that avenue. So until next time friends, remember to stay cool, stay safe, and as always, stay creative, York County.